Hi, I'm Sulhi Azman and this is Charlotte Chong and this is Friday Takeaway, edition December 16, 2016. And Charlotte, we are right in the smack of middle of December with about less than 2 weeks to go.
We have about 2 weeks before our new year, 2017.
Yes, correct. And of course, I'm excited already about next week because it's Christmas. But Charlotte, Christmas in the US for US investors came early because Janet Yellen gave a present to the US investors.
So what happened a few days ago, 2 days ago, Janet Yellen actually raised rates. She finally pulled the trigger. Now it's 0.75%. She raised the rates by 25 basis points to 0.75%. And what does this mean to the US market and also the Malaysian market? Also, of course, the region. When you look at the region, right, most of the ASEAN currencies have fallen very badly. And Malaysian ringgit, as one of the worst performing currency, we have actually dropped furthermore because what Janet Yellen said.
Right, and of course, at the same time, this is also a signal to say that the US economy is strengthening, and of course, we also should be waiting for the monetary policy statement by Bank Negara to see what guidance they could provide, because they have finished their meeting for this year, and the next meeting is going to be on 19 January 2017 on Thursday.
So next year, we are going to expect more rates hike next year, about 3 rate hikes next year in 2017. But the thing is, right, they actually say that they are going to raise rates for 4 times this year, but it only happened once. So what MIDF said was they probably will hike the rate 2 times next year. And why? This is because due to uncertainties in the global economic condition.
Yeah, and of course we have this Trumponomics, Charlotte, in a way. Donald Trump is going to take throne next year on January 20th, and let's see how the US economy will pan out. Now, Charlotte, after a long wait, MRT is now operating. Yay! Starting from 6 a.m. today, they have been ferrying passengers from Sungai Buloh to Semantan stations.
So the second phase from Semantan to Kajang will be open in July next year. So Prime Minister Najib Razak yesterday actually opened he was in the opening ceremony, and he said that we have saved about 2 billion ringgit on the project, first phase of the project. And when I actually passed through, when I drove through Bangsa MRT station, it was all lit up 2 days ago, 2 nights ago, and it feels like Christmas.
Yes, it does feel like Christmas, with all this happening in the world and of course in the country. That certainly does feel like Christmas. But of course, speaking from MRT Charlotte, there's also the high-speed rail where the two Prime Ministers, PM Najib Razak and also Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, has signed the final binding agreement for the HSR to be, to be completed and also to be constructed starting God knows when, but hopefully next year.
So good news for us, because we are not going to drive all the way down south to Singapore. Now travelling time reduced from 5 hours to just 90 minutes.
And of course, and these rail projects again, who is going to get the contracts? Of course, we've been hearing from the news is that the Chinese parties are also bidding, and of course we have the Japanese parties and also the South Korean parties.
So of course we have some European parties coming in as well to bid it.
Yes, so who will get it? Sera, as they say. And of course, let's look at the Bursa Malaysia today. Bursa Malaysia, we only had a very short trading week, 4 days, because Monday we had Prophet Muhammad's birthday. Since Janet Yellen surprised the market, the AmBank LCI has dropped by 0.7% or 3.4 points to trade around 1,634.4 points, Charlotte, at 10 a.m. today. And despite the US rate hike, M&A Securities, they mentioned that they are still keeping the end 2016 KLCR target at 1,790 points.
Yeah. So now let's look at ringgit. Just now I mentioned that ringgit is still the worst performing currency in ASEAN. And now at 10 o'clock today, ringgit has weakened further by nearly 1% to trade at 4.4725. It's getting harder for us to go to the US, right?
Yes, correct. And of course, Charlotte, it reminds me of the analysts, they were saying that the ringgit could actually weaken to 4.8. God forbid if the ringgit go down, that level. But of course, I think Bank Negara has also curbing and trying to support the ringgit basically through the Financial Markets Committee, where they have introduced a slew of measures to support the ringgit. Of course, you can keep a tab on that.
Bank Negara Malaysia and what they're going to do.
Yes, and of course, Charlotte, what's hot and moving this week, we have AmBank Holdings Bhd. Apparently, the CEO, Datuk Sulaiman Tahir, has warned of a weaker first half of 2017, but expects recovery by second half of next year.
So what he says, yeah, like what you say, second half of next year, we'll probably see some recovery in the banking industry. And after what he said 2 days ago, we actually saw major banking counters like CIMB and also RHB this morning actually dropped 0.42% to RM4.75.
Right, so basically, the banking counters were also spooked by the so-called gloomy outlook painted by Datuk Sulaiman Tahir. But anyway, for AmBank Holdings Berhad, 1 week ago it was sitting at RM4, and today it was sitting at RM4.40, and today at 10 a.m. it was RM4.44. Week on week up by 1%. But then, Charlotte, if you look at it right, Datuk Sulaiman Tahir is not the only person who has mentioned this and painted this gloomy outlook. Even Moody's Investor Services has been saying that due to rising credit costs and due to other factors as well, margins are going to be squeezed, and therefore the banks are going to be facing challenges.
When I actually listened to the video during the press conference, he actually said that because some of the reporters asked him what actually make the recovery next year and second half of next year. And he said that because a lot of uncertainty surrounding the market, like when we look at Brexit just happened, and then Trump is going to take the throne, like what you said, January 20th, and also Janet Yellen just raised rates. So after all this dust settles, we will probably see a recovery in the second half of next year.
Yes, of course, and of course, I think everybody, not only the banks, the bankers, every sectors and every chief executive and entrepreneurs are also concerned about the macroeconomic concerns and painted. But despite all this, there's a silver lining because CIMB Research is actually overweight and very bullish on the banking sector for the country.
So actually, AmBank projects a loan growth of about 4% to 5% next year. It's doubled from last year, and I think they're going to see more loan growth for that sector.
Right. Okay. Now moving on to the news of the day on the Age Financial Daily. Kuantan Flour Mills. Oh God, Charlotte. When I look at the share price, I just feel sad. It tumbled by 49%.
Max is like puppy love. On Tuesday or on Monday, they actually say that they are interested to buy over Kuantan Flour Mills. And then yesterday, they retracted interest. They say, no, we're not going to look at it anymore.
Well, they have actually lost the white knight, or should I say, Santa.
Shining armor,
Yes, the knight in the shining armor in the form of Felcra Holdings Bhd. Now, interestingly, Charlotte, Felcra has always wanted to go for listing, but they have actually, and they tried an IPO
a couple of years ago, but it failed.
It failed, and now they're going for the RTO. But I do not know why Felcra decided to pull out, because you express an interest in a very short span of time, and then suddenly you pull out. Is there something brewing inside Felcra?
So actually after the news, Kuantan Flour Mills actually spiked more than 6 times to about 24.5 cents yesterday. Now it was suspended yesterday depending of this announcement, but today we saw a huge drop, which is expected, 49%. And at 10 o'clock today, it was traded at 13 cents.
Yes, and of course, at the latest we checked, it plunges further by 51%.
Yes. So now it's at about 12 cents.
Right. Okay. And of course, the key takeaway from these two is that Kuantan Flour Mills is still looking for that special angel or Santa to come and rescue. And of course, for Felcra, it seems like a long wait for the IPO and for the listing. Of course, next week we will have a key release of economic data for certain countries. And otherwise, investors are still going to continue trading, but it's going to be
very quiet. Yes, a lot of people have been
lackluster market because everybody can't wait for Christmas, I suppose. Yes. Okay, that's all we have for today. For fast news on corporate actions, log on to our website at www.theedgemarkets.com or pick up a copy of the Age Financial Daily or the Age Weekly at any good newsstands near you. I'm Sulhi Azman and she's Charlotte Chong, and this is Fair Takeaway. Have a good weekend.